I'm Dr. Satish Naik, Department of Political Science, Government Postgrad College, Sirsi. Constitutional History of China, Modern Government. Program BA, Political Science, 5th semester, Karnataka University, Dharwad, 4th session. Constitutional History of China. Objective of the study, session outcomes, recap of previous session, introduction, historical background of China, stages, multiple choice questions, and references. Objectives of the studies are concerned to study and know the constitutional history of China, to develop the knowledge about development and progress of the Constitution of China, to see the constitutional changes in China and its progress. Session outcomes. Students are enabled to study the constitutional history of China. Students can learn constitutional structure of China and make comparative study with other constitutions of the world. Comparative study enhances the thinking capacity of the students and it will help to realize about which constitution works better for the progress of the nation. Introduction. The constitutional history of the People's Republic of China describes the evolution of its constitutional system. The first constitution of the People's Republic of China was promulgated in 1954. After two intervening versions, it enacted in 1975 and 1978. The present constitution was promulgated in 1982. Historical background of China. China is the largest country in East Asia and the most populous in the world. China, unified in 221 BC, became the People's Republic of China on 1st October 1949. According to Article 1 of the Chinese Constitution, People Republic of China is a socialist state. The PRC's capital is Beijing. The people of all of China's nationalities have jointly created a culture of grandeur and have a glorious revolutionary tradition. The Chinese people waged many successive heroic struggles for national independence and liberation and for democracy and freedom. Many historical changes have taken place in China in the 20th century. The revolution of 1911, led by Dr. Sun Yat sen, abolished the feudal monarchy and gave birth to the Republic of China. Stages Stages of constitutional history of China: Constitution of 1954, Constitution of 1975, Constitution of 1978, and Constitution of 1982. Constitution of 1978. The 1978 Constitution was promulgated in March 1978 under the chairmanship of Hua Guofeng. It contained 60 sections organized into four chapters. The new constitution in many places maintained the ideological tone of the 1975 constitution. At the same time, the need for socialist democracy was emphasized, and the 1954 system of government was largely restored, including its significant checks on executive power. It contained 60 sections organized into four chapters. In many ways, the 1978 Constitution was a compromise between the interim leadership's desire to consolidate power using Mao's moral authority, while responding to the popular desire to reverse the leftist extremes of the previous period. On the one hand, the new constitution in many places maintained the ideological tone of the 1975 Constitution, such as in Article 16 and Article 19. At the same time, the need for socialist democracy was emphasized, and the 1954 system of government was largely restored, including its significant checks on executive power. Constitution of 1982. The 1978 Constitution was again short lived. A fourth Constitution was promulgated on 4th December 1982. The 1982 Constitution was born in a political environment where the past, including Mao's errors and almost all of the Communist Party's policies from 1949, were relatively objectively re examined, and the country's future, including the pursuit of market economic reforms, was being openly debated. The 1982 Constitution returned the government structure to broadly that set up in 1954 with the presidency restored. The fundamental rights and duties of citizens were greatly expanded and elevated to Chapter 2 ahead of the provisions for the structure of the government. The 1982 Constitution was subsequently amended in 1988, 1993, 1999, 2004, and 2018, generally modifying the Constitution in accordance with economic and political reforms over that period. The system of government set up under the 1982 Constitution has undergone some changes, largely due to the evolution of constitutional conventions rather than textual amendments. The most significant of these occurred in 1989 to 1993. As drafted, the 1982 Constitution contemplated that the power of the state would be distributed amongst the General Secretary of the Communist Party of China, the Premier of the State Council, and the Chairman of the Central Military Commission. The President, as nominal head of state, would be a symbolic role with little substantive power. Such was the arrangement until 1989. The Constitution of China 1978 continued up to 1980, 1982, 1983, 1984. The answer is 1983. Present Constitution of China came into existence in 1980, 1981, 1982, 1983, and the answer consists 1983. References: Kapoor AC's Select Constitutions, S. Chand Publications, New Delhi in 2017. Mahajan VD Select Modern Governments, S. Chand and Company 1988. N. Jayapalan Modern Governments and Constitutions 2013. Vidyabhushan World Constitution, a comparative study, English paperback, Vandana Mala 2017.